I am a purist at heart. I think that's why the past few months, when Leadville gets brought up or running gets brought up, people say, "Have you seen Nick Bear's video?" I respond with, "Have you watched any of Billy Yang's videos?" And that's not a knock against Nick Bear. He's a very large, muscular guy. He has done an Ironman. He runs his own business. I respect the guy a lot. And he started and finished the race. He's done the Leadville 100, so it's all respect to him. But I've loved Billy's videos for years, and I think it's because he does such an excellent job of capturing the heart of the pursuit, and it's less about the ego of the pursuer. And with ultra running and trail running specifically, I think there's something really captivating about that. And so that's why when people ask, "Have you seen Nick Bear's videos?" My knee-jerk response is, I respect the guy, but go watch Billy Yang's videos so that you can maybe understand a little bit more why I want to run 100 miles, why I'm obsessed with this sport. And you'll maybe understand why I'm doing this podcast in the first place. Because for a long time, I have been very bashful about not just my love for running and ultra running and my reverence for the Tommy Rivas and the Jim Walmsley and the Scott Jureks and the Dean Karnassuses, the Courtney DeWalters, these ultra running greats. I've been very bashful about my love for that, and I've also been very coy about how alive running trails and running past 26.2 miles makes me feel. I think a lot about, I don't think the real Eric Liddell said this, but in the movie Chariots of Fire, there's a part where the main character, Eric Liddell, who's a real person, his sister is basically asking him, "Why are you running in the Olympics when you could be a missionary?" And I'm going to do a really bad Irish accent, but he says, "Oh, Jenny, the Lord made me fast. And when I run, I feel his pleasure. And when I run, I feel God's pleasure." And so that's another piece of the puzzle that's always made it wildly uncomfortable to really talk about running with other people, because I love the running community, and I love that there are people who have gone couch to 5K, couch to marathon, couch to ultra. I love that. I love that there are people whose friends are the running group. I've always felt very out of place in those situations, which is why I've always sort of sat on the sidelines and cowardly sort of thrown my judgment at anybody with a running podcast or anybody documenting themselves doing what, frankly, I do in a day as well. And that's pretty pompous and pretty cowardly in reality. So, the Leadville Logs. It's my best attempt at, number one, just throwing my name, my hat in the arena, so to speak, instead of quietly sitting back with my arms crossed, thinking of how I would show this about running differently, or I would talk about training this way. None of that matters. I don't have any skin in the game. So who am I to have any thought other than I'm glad that person's sharing something when other people share their running journeys? But it's uncomfortable because I've never really talked about it. I've never done it. But there's a reality that I'm not bad at it. I'm not the best. Like, if you want to listen to the best, go listen to Zach Bitter's Human Performance Outliers. Like, that's another thing that's made this really uncomfortable. That's why I'm shaking right now, recording this first episode. But I want to share my my little bits, my little pieces about not just running, but this Leadville journey. Was very fortunate, and back in October, ran a race and qualified to run one of the 3 to 4 biggest, most notorious ultra races in the country. And maybe it's time I stop acting like that doesn't mean a lot to me. So this is me not acting, this is me showing y'all, that this journey and this pursuit means a lot to me. Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning into the Leadville Logs, this episode and any other episode. First off, I want to give a huge thank you and shout out to Atreyu Running Company, founded and tested right here in Austin, Texas. I have been very fortunate to meet the whole team over there, and we've gotten to work on some really cool things, specifically the base trail shoe, which is what I will be wearing at Leadville. It's going to be the first time that the Atreyu base model ever hits the trails on race day. Go to their website right now. There's a pre-sale link for the base trail. Would mean a ton to me and do a lot for them if you went and signed up for that. That way, when it actually comes out in September, you can get your own pair. Also, browse a couple of the shoes. The base model is great for the everyday runner, the everyday trainer. The Artist is by far and away the best carbon plated shoe and really best road shoe I've ever worn. Grab a pair of those, use code Gunnar15, get 15% off. I would not be saying any of this if I actually used the shoes, the base model, the Artist, and the base trail. Best shoes I've ever worn, best team I've ever worked with. It's all of the things that you need in a shoe and none of the things that you don't. So go get a pair right now, go check them out.
And you don't have to be like an avid runner to use these shoes.
No, thank you for asking. No, you do not. This is very much one of the only shoe companies I've ever come across that it's shoes for the elite runner, but also shoes for the walk around person. It's like, you don't even have to be a runner to enjoy these shoes. So go check those out. Also, the sick hat I'm wearing, there's more than just a hat. Force of Nature Meats is currently building out a global supply chain of regeneratively farmed, really agriculture meats, from wild boar right here in Texas, eat more invasive species, to venison, to bison, all grass-fed, all grass-finished. It's all of the good stuff that you want in food and none of the bullshit, quite frankly. We've, again, been fortunate enough to meet some of the team over there. They're amazing, eating a lot of their meat almost every single day. I love, personally, the ground bison and the ground venison. One, because it's a little bit easier to cook, just, during the weekday if you're not a meal prepper. I'm not really a meal prepper. Cooking a steak as much as I would like to, not as much time for that. But the ground meats, I can throw in the pan, throw some good Malden salt on there, some pepper. I have leftovers the next day, but I can get a lot of dense, nutritious meat and really protein back into my system. Throw some rice in there, super delicious. So go to forceofnaturemeats.com, go follow their Instagram, check out their products, go get a hat, but more importantly, get some of that meat. It is so good. Love it so much. So go check them out. And without further ado, here's the rest of the show. I'm very fortunate and have a wife that I love. I have a brother that I love. I have amazing family and a great job. But this also is up there with things that I hold very close to the chest. And so I want to invite all of you to tune into the Leadville Logs for the next couple of weeks leading up to race day, as we peel back the curtain a little bit of what me getting ready for a 100-mile race looks like and what my heartbeat behind it is, and hopefully do the pursuit and the heart of it justice. I really don't want this to be a Gunnar show. But that feels so weird because I'm the only one sitting here. So it's going to be very awkward to, as best as I can, share with the world, so to speak, the heart of the pursuit of ultra running, of training, of what this crazy endeavor really means and looks like. And then thirdly, the other reason I'm doing this is I hope to have kids one day. And when I have kids, I don't know about y'all, but I'm probably going to let myself go. And dad bod is going to be a thing. So when they're seeing that, I do have some evidence that I didn't always look like this. There was a time when I was the crazy guy walking around barefoot in the gym and running 100 miles in the mountains of Colorado. So I really hope y'all join. I hope that I never am so brash that it offends anybody, but I hope I'm always genuine and honest enough to share the truth of what this pursuit means, of what the heartbeat behind ultra marathon running is to me, and at least the kind of fun you can have along the way. Bye, y'all.